As we know, deafness and hearing loss is affected person's ability to communicate, and communications is really important in socializations. Then naturally they will have difficulties in developing relationships with other people. It can be a family members or making friends and participating in social activities. Therefore, we conducted this research to look at the difficulties of deaf people in joining social affairs activities. So here we divided the presentations into four parts. The first part it will be about problem descriptions that will be delivered by Ruben.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruben Rafael Zamzami and I'm going to present the problem description.
The second one is about survey result that will be delivered by me, Rizka, and Stephen.
Hello, my name is Steven.
And for the third one, it's about perspective that will be delivered by Puspa and Marcus.
Hello, I am Puspa Juliana.
And the last one is about actions to solve that will be delivered by Made.
Hello, my name is Sandesaningrat.
Context. So first is, what is the cause of deafness? There are many factors on how people acquire deafness. One of the factors is called congenital causes and acquired causes. Congenital causes are causes that lead people to acquire soon after they are born, be it genetic factors such as hereditary or complication from birth. Complications such as inappropriate use of drug during birth, low birth weight, and etc. Now, acquired causes. These causes usually happen at a certain age because of many factors such as disease, too many water in the ear from taking a shower or swimming, injury to head or ear, and etc. Next. The next one will be, does Indonesia have a lot of deaf people? It is reported in 2010 there are around 2,547,626 people with hearing impairment or deafness. Considering the Indonesian population of around 250 million people or more, this is not that big amount of deaf people. Next. And the next one is, Indonesia a safe place for deaf people? The answer is, overall, it is safe to assume that Indonesia is still not a safe place for deaf people, with many jobs does not even allow deaf people to join an event. Although some have translator for deaf people, it's still a hard place for deaf people to blend in or feel normal. Right, that's all from me.
On November 13 to 20, we conducted a survey about the difficulties of deaf persons in joining social affairs activity. And here is the result. And this is the data from our questionnaire survey that we conducted on 13 to 20 November last week. And we have 12 respondents there, which are 10 teman dengar and 2 teman tuli. And here is the data of how friendly the area to deaf people. But the data is so contradictory with what Ruben said before. Ruben said that Indonesia is not a safe place for deaf people. But here, from this data, it shows that most of them has 60% above the number of friendly to deaf people. So it means that it's already being a safe place. And also, it is supported by our interview results that we conducted on 15 and 17 November. And here is the video.
Halo, selamat malam. Perkenalkan, nama aku NIMAS, panggilan isyaratnya seperti ini, Mas. Nah, saya Tuli.
Kita ada Kak Cynthia dari Konekin, dan ada juga Haiza sebagai aktivis teman tuli.
Aku sekarang tuli total. Separuh enggak, aku total. Langsung sakit kuning waktu itu. Aku sakit kuning dan juga panas tinggi. Aku mengalami panas tinggi dan akhirnya berdampak menjadi tuli. Jadi waktu itu aku tuli dari kecil.
Esa sejak lahir itu kena bilirubin tinggi.
Bilirubin.
Nah, itu kalau bahasa awamnya kuning, ya secara tinggi. Jadi kalau orang normal tuh, bayi normal lahir, itu bilirubinnya 6 sampai 9.
Kalau aku kebetulan ada teman, aku baru ingat, ada teman dekatku tapi dia HOH, jadi nggak tuli total. masih bisa mendengar sedikit dan pakai alat bantu dengar lagi.
Kerja di kafe, tempat namanya Kafe Sunyi. Nah, sebetulnya ada seperti mencari orang kerja, ada pencarian kerja untuk orang-orang tuli, dan akhirnya aku melamar. Ya, waktu itu aku iseng lamar. Ternyata alhamdulillah diterima. Nah, aku tapi bilang, aduh maaf banget, aku pengalaman nggak ada bikin kopi. Latar belakang aku masak, bukan bikin kopi.
Selama 3 tahun, Hesa mendapat pelatihan di YPAC. Begitu selesai, kemudian ada rekrutan pegawai di BUMN, dan itu ada klasifikasinya untuk umum dan untuk disabilitas.
Aku pakai oral karena dia tuli bukan dari lahir, jadi umur 11 tahun gitu. Jadi masih oralnya masih cukup jelas dan dia masih cukup terfamiliar dengan bahasa bibir gitu. Nah, beberapa juga ada yang dia bahasa isyarat tapi aku selaras dengan oral karena kondisiku sendiri untuk berbahasa isyarat itu agak sedikit sulit. Karena kan aku daksa ya, aku disabilitas daksa, dan kalau untuk memperagakan bahasa isyarat itu agak sedikit sulit. Tapi beberapa gerakan isyarat yang aku tahu biasanya aku isyaratin.
Ada oral, dua sih. Kadang pakai oral dan juga kadang pakai beberapa isyarat dasar.
Dulu aku pakai ABD, tapi seperti nggak nyaman. Sekarang karena ada isyarat, ya aku pakai isyarat berkomunikasi karena lebih gampang.
Nggak belajar sendiri sih, jadi belajarnya sama teman-teman kuliah langsung.
Sama dengan nggak boleh saling mengajari bahasa isyarat kan, karena logikanya gini, yang punya bahasa kan orang-orang tuli, dan juga kalau misalnya kita udah belajar dari orang tuli terus mencoba ngajarin ke orang-orang dengar, belum tentu isyarat yang kita diajarkan itu benar-benar sama kan. Ya pernah ikut online. Nggak ada. Betul apa ya? Itu nggak ada sih akses JBI-nya.
Iya, yang pastinya tersedia JBI. Sebab teman-teman tuli kalau JBI nggak ada, yang merasa percuma datang buat apa? Paham juga enggak kan? Kayak gitu. Kalau datang doang nggak mau, tapi maunya ada datang dan ditambah ilmu juga. Nah itu kalau JBI nggak ada, merasa seperti datang ya kayak pulang lagi, nggak mau kayak gitu. Iya pernah. Tapi teks itu full enggak gitu. Orang-orang ketik itu poin. Oh, dia hanya ngetik poin-poinnya aja gitu. Jadi itu merasa kurang puas kan kalau misalnya cuma diketik poin-poinnya doang, nggak full dengan kata-kata gitu.
Seperti kalau misalnya lagi penjabaran materi itu biasa aku screenshot gitu. Aku simpen-simpen. Terus nanti aku baca-baca gitu.
Nah, aku merasa seperti nggak suka gitu ya, sebab sinyal, sebab masalah sinyal gitu. Yang kedua, JBI-nya juga suka freeze dan lain-lain.
Kalau menurutku cukup baik ya, karena feedback atau di setiap kumpul kita juga teman-teman tuli itu interaktif. Itu tandanya kalau misalnya di setiap pertemuan kita itu mereka interaktif, mereka aktif bertanya, aktif memberikan pendapat, berarti kan dalam tanda kutip mereka sudah paham apa yang dibahas, informasi apa yang disampaikan, seperti itu. Karena ya tadi kita menyediakan aksesnya, kita menyediakan juru bahasa isyarat, kita menyediakan closed caption juga gitu. Pun kalau misalnya di beberapa contohnya kayak di Instagram Live, itu kan nggak bisa menampilkan JBI, maksudnya 3 layar gitu, jadi cuma hanya narasumber, moderator. Dan Konekin itu selalu punya inisiatif untuk typist atau memberikan ketik cepat itu di kolom komen Instagram gitu. Jadi apa yang disampaikan narasumber, apa yang disampaikan moderator kita ketik di kolom chat gitu. Jadi mereka tetap bisa ngikutin kongko kita yang kita adakan di media Instagram gitu. Inklusif itu adalah no one left behind. Jadi nggak ada yang tertinggal, siapapun berhak mendapatkan informasi, kita pun berkewajiban untuk memberikan akses informasi seluas-luasnya.
As you can see in the video that BUMN is give a chance to disability and deaf people to get a job. So it means that our government is on process to facilitate them. So Ruben's statement is not relate again for today's life. And for the next will be explained by Stefan.
Yes, exactly. As what Ruben has already explained to us, that deafness can actually occur due to some kind of illness. Therefore, in our survey, we did some research and interviews to some deaf individuals, which then they share with us that their deafness is caused due to a disease called jaundice. And then now, we want to explain to you from our survey and interview what are the things that actually the deaf individual see and feel. Well, actually, the deaf respondents, they feel that the normal people treated them kindly, friendly, and nicely enough. And then they also told us that the GBI access in TV programs, for example, it's very helpful for them. And the access to the GBI for conferences and any other social affairs is really helping them. Although the accessibility to the GBI is present, but the impact is not that big, because as we can see in the news TV programs, the GBI access is actually spotted really small in the corner, so it's quite hard to see. It's kind of useless. So they said it's probably better for them to provide a subtitle instead of using the GBI in the corner, because it's just too hard to see. Next. But then when we asked for the normal people, things start to change. So here's what we found. We found that although that the deaf actually feel that they're being treated nicely, kindly, and friendly, however, we found that only 33.3% of normal people that attend the social affairs that provides the GBI, means that there's only a few of them, really small amount of people, that want to get involved in a social affair that involves the deafs. But the truth is, they're being uncomfortable to sit around and being involved in an environment with deaf people present. So here we propose a theory that there's maybe a chance that these normal people actually do the kindness, the friendliness to the deaf consciously, meaning they know exactly they have to do it because they have to treat the deaf more friendly and more kindly, instead of they know that that is the right thing to do, but consciously they're doing it because they have to. That is why that the deaf is actually still feel that they're being isolated and being excluded in some part of the society. Well, this is the root that comes with the pro and cons. So therefore, Puswa, would you please tell us what are the pros and cons here?
Hello, I'm Mark. I'll be talking about the perspective, which is in the con, on what do they think about providing or improving social affairs accessibility for the deaf. So for the cons, according to the general community, those who are deaf have no need in receiving access to assistance information during social affairs activities such as seminar, workshop, or socialization, because there are already many advanced technologies developed for the needs of people with deafness, such as hearing aids. Moreover, the deaf population in Indonesia is classified as a minority. Thus, increasing the accessibility for the deaf to receive information during social affairs activities is not really important. Furthermore, according to the interview result with Teman Dengar, which is a non-deaf person, most of the deaf have taken their own initiative to bring friends who can use sign language or JBI, Juru Bahasa Isyarat, to attend social affairs events. Apart from that, they can also use the oral method. To continue with the cons, there are already social events that specialize in helping disabled people. So to provide JBI or Juru Bahasa Isyarat for every event out there would be a hassle. For example, there will be no JBI in social events like music concert, unless it is for events that are national in nature.
Besides the cons, there are some pros groups where they think that providing assistance of deaf participants in accessing information during social affairs activities is very much needed. According to the results of interview with the community head of social community of deaf, the deaf should also have the same ease of accessing information, so that social affairs such as workshops or seminars must be made as accessible as possible either where there are deaf participants or not. We know that GPI or Juru Bahasa Isyarat is indeed costly, but there are still many ways to increase the accessibility, such as by providing a fast typist or closed caption at every social affairs event. Other than that, according to the interview results with the deaf, not all deaf persons can use hearing aids. Some of them feel uncomfortable when using hearing aids. Furthermore, according to the health institutions or medical groups, not every person with hearing loss can be treated and helped by the use of hearing aids, because each type of hearing loss has a different treatment method. Hearing aids itself can often help people with sensory neural hearing loss and mixed hearing loss. While conductive hearing loss is the hearing loss that is caused by something that stops sounds from getting through the outer or middle ear, such as tumor or blockage. This type of hearing loss can often be treated by a medicine or surgery. There are some people with conductive hearing loss who have open ear canals and have relatively normal outer ears. This type of conductive hearing loss still has the possibility of being helped by using hearing aids, but this is not very effective. The most common type of hearing loss is sensory neural hearing loss. It occurs when the inner ear nerves and hair cells are damaged, perhaps due to age, noise, damage, or something else. Sensory neural hearing loss impacts the pathways from the inner ear to the brain. Most times, the sensory neural hearing loss cannot be corrected medically or surgically, but can be helped by using the hearing aids. Then, the mixed hearing loss is the combination between conductive hearing loss and sensory neural hearing loss. The last type is auditory neuropathy spectrum disorder, or ANSD. According to our literature study, hearing aids are of limited use of patients with ANSD. Patients with ANSD have temporal perception difficulties that can make speech difficult to understand. So, current hearing aid technology doesn't address enhancing the temporal envelope of speech signal to compensate for temporal processing deficits associated with ANSD.
There is three parts. The first one is access to service, improve policy, and the last one is facilitate social acceptance. In the access to service, there is 25% of respondents that mention about this thing. The first one is during other seminar or social event organizers need to provide digital means or any assistance to the deaf person to make sure the deaf person can get the knowledge and understand about that social affairs. And the second one is the government and the society need to provide appropriate access to education for deaf people so that they are able to go to school well and smoothly. The third one is there are special features on facilities or objects that can make it easier for the people to use this object. And the last one is the provision of seminar social activities that provide new and useful information for different. So the access to services that need provide for the deaf people, it's like the access that can give their right as a human like us, that they need to get it like that, and important some like that. And the import policy, the same like previous one, the percentage is 25%. Since this is relatable, because if the policy appear, the access will also appear. So the access is need the policy to be available in the society. So these two things is relatable, is in my opinion is same. So if we mention the access, the policy also will mention it. In this info policy, I mentioned like enforcement of priority service rule for the people, like we give the priority for the people in the service or etc. And the second one is the regulation on the provision of facilities for the people in public space and public transportation, such as GBE, hearing aids, and special sign for the people. So the assisted for the people to public space in the public transportation, something like that, so they can go anywhere without any confusion and etc. And there are certain rules for employment for the people, so that the people get the right to work comfortably and productively. There are regulations so that public access and the necessities for life for the people can be facilitated and adjusted to the need of the deaf. And the last one is the need for regulation governing of availability of JB and hearing aids for the people in some public place and environment. So we need give the policy that make the deaf people easier to do their life and go in this public space with enough comfortable. And the next is facilitate social acceptance. So we need to give the social acceptance to the deaf people, and this have highest percentage. This is 50% since the narasumber in bahasa is narasumber, or the people resources have the relatable with the topic of this thing, because this is applicable in social life. The first one is eliminating this negative stigma against deaf people. All the stigma you can with the specific in the PPT, and create a friendly public space sitting for the deaf people so they can feel part of the community and not isolated. So we need to give the acceptance to deaf person. That means we accept them and include them as a part of our society. And you can with the other, the need and the importance of the role of parents and families. So the families have the big part of the growth of the deaf people, so they can, in bahasa is membaur with the society like that. And the conclusion is Indonesia still not be a safe place for the deaf person, but we can try to give higher tolerance and do the good thing for the deaf person. Deaf person can be grateful and still think positively about the surrounding community, but one normal person do not act and giving a same respect as a deaf person. So we need give the same respect as and the tolerance to the deaf person. That will make our life will harmonious. Thank you.